What would you do if you walked into a stranger's office and saw your childhood photo on their desk, one only your birth family should have had? Lily Dawson was just a cleaning girl trying to survive. Pregnant, alone, betrayed. Until one night while wiping down a billionaire's private office, she saw something that stopped her heart, a framed picture of a 2-year-old girl clutching a stuffed lion. Her photo, her face, her past. Who was this man? Why did he have her picture? And what secret had been buried for nearly 20 years? Stay with us, because what happens next will shatter everything she thought she knew about her family, her identity, and the meaning of real love. One moment of curiosity will lead to a revelation so powerful it could either destroy her or finally set her free. Something shocking is about to unfold. Are you ready to feel every heartbeat of this story? If you'd seen Monica Reed that morning holding her newborn daughter in the dim hospital room, you'd never have guessed she was planning to disappear. Her expression was cold, her voice bitter, and her heart, if it still beat for anything, was consumed by regret. She hadn't wanted this child. Not now. Not with him. 2 years earlier, Monica had been the kind of woman who turned heads blonde, confident, ruthless in the way beautiful people can afford to be. The father of the baby, just another mistake in a string of bad decisions. She thought she could shake him off, walk away, and start fresh. But the pregnancy clung to her like a curse she couldn't outrun. Her body changed. Her finances collapsed. Her reflection became a stranger. Her dreams withered under the weight of cheap diapers and unpaid rent. By the time the baby girl Lily turned 2, Monica's resentment had grown sharp and suffocating. Every time Lily cried, every time she reached up with those wide blue eyes just like her father's, it wasn't love Monica felt. It was fury. So one afternoon, without warning, she packed a small bag, a bottle of water, a stale roll, a short note written in shaky ink. Her name is Lily. She's healthy. I can't take care of her. She led Lily by the hand into the edge of Forest Park just outside Portland, Oregon. The toddler giggled as she tried to catch a ladybug, oblivious to the fact that she was being walked out of her own life. "Stay here, sweetie," Monica said, kneeling beside her. "I'll be right back." She never came back. Instead, she walked briskly to the road, heart pounding, not with guilt, but with the intoxicating sense of freedom. For the first time in years, she could breathe. Lily sat quietly under the trees, humming to herself. Hours passed. Then dusk fell. That was when Ralph Henley, a local ranger, found her, alone, clutching a crumpled note in a worn stuffed lion, her face smeared with dirt, her eyes filled with questions no 2-year-old should ever have to ask. That night, Lily was placed in Maple Grove Children's Home, and her life began again. If you ask Margaret Blake, the director of Maple Grove, she'll tell you that Lily was never like the others. The other kids, scarred, bitter, wild, often fought back against routine and rules, but not Lily. She listened, she helped, she worked hard, and maybe that's why Margaret loved her like her own. Maple Grove wasn't like other orphanages. It was small, privately run, and fiercely structured. The children learned how to cook, how to clean, how to budget every cent. Margaret believed in preparing them for real life, not some sugar-coated fantasy. And Lily, she thrived under that structure. Years passed. Lily never asked about her parents. She didn't cry at night. She didn't tell stories about what she remembered because she didn't remember much. Only flashes, a scent, a voice, a patch of blue sky through tall trees, and a name she didn't recognize anymore. At 17, Lily moved into her own tiny apartment, courtesy of a state program. She worked odd jobs, cafeteria prep, stockroom, girl even bagging groceries, until she landed something steady at Sun Hill Veterinary Care. It was peaceful work. She loved animals more than people. At least animals didn't lie. One night she stopped by Maple Grove to bring cookies to the kids and sat with Margaret over tea. She asked casually if anyone ever came looking for her. Margaret hesitated. "No," she said gently. "No one ever came." But she didn't tell Lily about the photograph. Not yet. Not about the mystery sponsor who sent generous donations every year, never visited, never called. A man named Gregory Cole, successful, distant, and oddly protective of one particular child on his donation list. Lily had no idea who he was. She didn't even know his name. Not yet. But fate, brutal, ironic fate, was already setting the pieces in motion. One rainy night, Lily stepped out of her shift at the vet clinic and pulled her coat tighter. She was 19, alone, tired. Her stomach turned as she realized her period was late. Her hands trembled as she unlocked her apartment door. She wouldn't sleep that night. 2 pink lines would change everything. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the interruption, but we hope you will help us improve our content in the future. What would you do if you found a 2-year-old alone in the woods with nothing but a note and a toy? Do you believe someone like Monica Reed deserves a second chance, or is abandonment unforgivable? Have you ever felt like the world threw you away, but somehow you kept going? Comment 100 if this story has already gripped your heart, and tell us what country are you watching from. If this story resonates with you, share it with someone who still believes in second chances. Lily Dawson had never thought 2 pink lines could feel like a punch to the chest. She stared at the pregnancy test in her shaking hands. Once, then again. It didn't change. It didn't lie. But someone else had. Cameron Holt, the man with the warmest smile and the coldest intentions, had walked into her life just 6 months earlier, carrying a fluffy orange kitten in his enormous arms. He was charming, casually disheveled, with a voice like melted butter and a laugh that made you forget to guard your heart. He came in once, then again, then every week. He brought the cat Peanut for checkups that weren't needed, flirted, gently asked about her schedule, remembered her favorite candy. And when he finally asked her out, Lily said yes. They were opposites. She was quiet, practical, raised on survival. He was spontaneous, loud, and seemed to have the world at his feet. But with him, she felt seen. For the first time in her life, she wasn't someone's charity case. She was wanted, or so she thought. The first time they slept together, he whispered, "I've never felt this way before." And Lily believed him, because no one had ever made her feel like more than just someone's responsibility. But that night, sitting alone on the bathroom floor, with a test that confirmed what her body had already started to suspect, Lily realized just how wrong she'd been. Pregnant Cameron's tone wasn't shocked. It was irritated, like she'd told him the pizza delivery was late. She nodded. They sat in a corner booth of a quiet diner. The smell of old coffee and fried grease thick in the air. Outside, Portland drizzled cold rain on gray sidewalks. Lily had barely touched her food. He leaned back, arms crossed. "Well, damn, that's not ideal." Lily blinked. "That's all you have to say? What do you want me to say? Throw a party?" She stared at him, unsure if he was joking. He wasn't. His face was unreadable, bored even. "I thought we had something real, Cam," he scoffed. "Lily, we've known each other, what, half a year? That's barely enough time to know someone's last name, let alone raise a kid with them." Her throat tightened. "I'm not asking you to raise a child with me. I'm telling you there is a child, a real one, growing inside me." Cameron sighed and looked out the window. "Look, I'm not ready to be a dad. Hell, I can barely take care of myself." She felt the tears rising, but she pushed them back. "You told me you loved me." He turned to her, smiling like it was a schoolyard joke. "Yeah, I say a lot of things when I'm in bed." The words landed like a slap. She stood up, her hands trembling. "You're a coward," he shrugged. "You're not the first to say that." She walked out into the rain without another word, but it wasn't cold enough to numb the sting. Back at home, Lily sat in the dark, legs curled beneath her, staring at the wall. She had been abandoned once before by her mother in the woods. She had survived. But this felt worse. This betrayal wasn't from a stranger. It was from someone she had let in, someone who knew her stories, her scars, and still chose to walk away. She picked up her phone and dialed. "Margaret," her voice broke. I need to come by." Margaret opened the door before Lily could even knock. The warmth of the old home wrapped around her like a forgotten hug. "You're not alone, sweetheart," Margaret whispered, pulling her in. "Whatever it is, we'll figure it out." They sat with tea and Lily told her everything. Margaret didn't ask why. She didn't scold. She simply listened the way only someone who'd raised broken children could, with unwavering patience. Later that week, Margaret handed her a flyer. Evening janitorial job. Small office. Quiet. Flexible hours. Lily nodded. "I'll take it." "Are you sure I don't get to fall apart?" Lily said. "Not now." Her first night at the office was quiet, almost eerie. The building was mostly dark, lit only by a few hallway lights, and the soft hum of computers on standby. She had a key, she had a mop, she had a routine. The office she was told never to clean was on the top floor. That's Mr. Gregory Cole's personal space, Margaret had told her. He doesn't like anyone touching his things. Lily respected that. She knew what it was like to have few possessions and too many people taking. But one night when he was away on business and the cleaner before her had called out, she was asked to dust the room. Just the surfaces, the secretary told her. Don't move anything. The office was immaculate, expensive, almost cold. She wiped down a low table, then the desk, then paused. There was a single photograph on the desk, framed, old. A little girl, about 2 years old, sitting in a field with a stuffed lion in her lap. Lily dropped the cloth. She knew that lion. She knew that picture, because she had the same one tucked away in her memory box at home, the one given to her when she left the orphanage, the photo that had been found with her in the forest. She turned the frame over. Lily, age 2. Her heart stopped. Why did Gregory Cole, this powerful man she had never met, have a picture of her? The world spun. The room blurred. The silence screamed. She stumbled back, phone in hand, fingers dialing before she could even think. Margaret, she whispered when the woman picked up. Why does Gregory Cole have a baby picture of me on his desk? Silence, then, Lily, maybe it's time you knew the truth. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the interruption, but we hope you will help us improve our content in the future. What would you do if you discovered a powerful stranger had a photo of you as a baby one, only your birth family should have had? Do you believe in fate, or is this a sign that the past always finds us? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if this story has you hooked, type like below and tell us what country you're watching from. When Gregory Cole walked into his office the next morning, he didn't expect to find Lily Dawson standing by the window holding the photo frame that had been on his desk for over 17 years. She didn't speak right away. She couldn't. He stood frozen in the doorway, his breath caught mid-sentence. His eyes met hers, blue sharp, familiar. The silence between them was louder than any words could be. That's me, Lily said finally, her voice low, trembling. Isn't it? Gregory stepped inside slowly. Yes, it is. Why do you have it? He closed the door behind him and leaned against it like the truth had suddenly become too heavy to carry. Because I've been looking at that photo every day for almost 2 decades, hoping that maybe, someday, I'd see those eyes again, not just in a frame, but in real life. Tears pricked her eyes. You're my... He nodded. Your father. The word hung in the air like it had been waiting to be spoken for years. I didn't know you were alive, he continued, his voice breaking. I was told you drowned. Your mother, Monica, she lied. She left me and then disappeared with you. I tried to track her down, but by the time I found her, she told me you were gone. She left me in the woods, Lily whispered. Like garbage. Gregory's face collapsed. He took a step forward but stopped, unsure if she'd let him near. I'm so sorry. I didn't protect you. I didn't know how. Lily held her breath. She wanted to scream, to cry, to run into his arms, and to run away all at once. But then she saw it. The pain, the regret, the love. So raw, so real. I'm pregnant, she said, wiping her eyes. And I'm alone. Gregory's expression shifted. He stepped closer. Not anymore. She broke. The weight of years of abandonment, of betrayal, of carrying the world alone came crashing down. And this time she didn't have to hold it all herself. Gregory took her into his arms and held her like the father he had never been allowed to be. For a long time they just stood there, wrapped in grief and healing. Over the next few weeks, everything changed. Gregory pulled every string he had to make sure Lily had medical care, financial stability, and a safe place to live. But he didn't try to smother her. He didn't try to buy her love. Instead, he listened. He showed up. He took her to doctor appointments, helped her paint the nursery, cooked her soup when her feet were swollen and her moods were wild. He asked questions about her childhood at Maple Grove and cried when she told him how Margaret Blake had been the only mother figure she'd ever known. He met Margaret in person not long after. "You saved her," Gregory said, holding the older woman's hand. "I'll never be able to thank you enough." Margaret smiled. She saved herself. We just gave her a place to grow. As spring returned to Portland, Lily gave birth to a baby girl. They named her Hope, because that's what she'd been for Lily, a reason to fight, a light in the dark. Gregory was in the delivery room holding his daughter's hand the moment Hope cried for the first time. 3 generations in one hospital room, one torn apart by the past, now stitched back together by something stronger than blood choice. "I'll never leave her," Lily whispered, looking down at her daughter. "Never," I know, Gregory said, "because you already chose to stay, even when the whole world gave you reasons to run." As for Monica Reed, no one heard from her again. Rumors swirled that she'd left the country, that she'd married rich again, that she was living under a new name in some coastal town. But Lily no longer cared. Closure didn't need to come from the person who broke her. It came from the people who stood beside her when she rebuilt. Even Cameron Holt tried to reappear after hearing about Gregory's wealth and the baby. He sent a casual message. Lily never answered. She was done with boys who only showed up when it served them. She was surrounded now by something far greater: real love. The kind that didn't disappear at the first sign of struggle. The kind that didn't need to be begged for. Hope had that love, and Lily had found her way home. One warm Sunday afternoon, Lily brought Hope to Maple Grove for the first time. The other children gathered around, giggling, touching the baby's tiny hands. Margaret beamed with pride. Gregory sat beside his daughter on the front steps, watching Hope sleep. "You know," he said, his voice gentle, "I spent my whole life building companies, chasing numbers, collecting houses I never lived in. But this," he glanced at Lily, "this is the only legacy I care about." Lily rested her head on his shoulder. "We're going to be okay, aren't we?" "We already are," he whispered. And for the first time in Lily's life, she believed it. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the interruption, but we hope you will help us improve our content in the future. What did this story mean to you? Do you believe people can heal from even the deepest wounds if they're given a second chance? Type 100 in the comments if this story touched your heart. Tell us, what country are you watching from? And if you believe in the power of redemption, share this story with someone who might need it today.